Welcome back to Winners and Losers, the show that looks at the highs and the lows around world football. This weekend, as ever, we're starting with the talking point. Chris Hamill, what is it?
I feel like I need to wake my face up, mate. It's been a long weekend, and of course the talking point is the Manchester derby. And it's funny that we start on this, because we did our first watch-along for said game. We have a highlights package of the best bits. Let's go to that before I start talking about Pogba. There's a corner for City.
Oh, Vincent!
I've just missed the goal! I've just missed the goal! Oh, Gundogan, he's in the dream team as well!
The turn is disgusting.
Get in there!
The turn! Oh, go on, Pogba!
What a goal!
He's brought it back.
That is
He's brought
unbelievable goal.
That's a great assist.
That
from,
is such a good
That's
goal.
so good.
How nice was that goal, though?
2-1, my 3-1 prediction's on.
That was such a good goal by Man United. Sanchez into Herrera. Herrera chests it down. That is a phenomenal goal. Brilliant by Sanchez in here.
Sanchez is popping up everywhere.
Pogba's got another.
Oh, my
2-2.
days.
Oi,
I told you,
Guardiola.
boys.
Guardiola, what are you saying now?
my
It's all
days.
going to be quiet.
Wow. What a ball. Alexis Sanchez, that's a great ball.
Oh, Paul Pogba, cometh the man, cometh the Aristide that Manaman always says in every broadcast ever.
Oh my
Look
word.
at me.
Sanchez, this ball
This
by
is
Sanchez.
the header
was
as well.
Sumptuous.
Oh my God, what a ball.
Oh, Chris! Come on!
Morning!
Yes!
Oh my God!
Out of all the people.
Come on! Oh, we were battering him before the game.
Oh, my
Chris
days.
Smalling.
Hold up.
Oh my God!
Meow!
Mental.
I can't believe it. This is the best save. That's it. That could be De Gea's best ever save. But my good God, my heart.
What a...
If I hadn't lost my Apple Watch in Dubai, it would be doing flips my heart rate on it.
What a glorious time we had watching that, Joseph. Why don't you let us know what game we should cover next in the comments below. But on to Paul Pogba, because you wanted him to play in a midfield three prior to the game. Jose delivered. It was only the 5th time he'd set up in said formation with Pogba in it, and he stepped up in that second 45, didn't he? Scoring 2 goals in an arguably defining 45 in a Manchester United shirt.
Agreed.
Given the context of the game, he stepped up big time, didn't he? And probably finished as man of the match. Few contenders, but he had 49 touches, 4 take-ons, 3 shots, and he won 2 fouls. And he was absolutely clinical when it mattered, particularly that second goal, that header was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
It was.
The way he absolutely bossed his man.
Yeah, definitely, because Ilkay Gundogan missed a very similar chance in the first half.
Yeah.
Remember that ball from Fernandinho drifts over the top from about 8 yards out and he heads it straight at De Gea. So Pogba did really well to finish that one off.
But he went full brick shit. I said, get off!
I
mate.
know.
Bang, scored in the corner. But it was quite voluminous on the day as well. Also had 3 shots, which was the highest tally of any player on the field, which is weird, because I swear Raheem Sterling had about 15. But anyway, he's actually the first player to score a brace against Manchester City this season. That's 50 games in all competitions.
Ooh.
And people said it was a tale of 2 halves for the Frenchman. It's a tale of 2 halves, full stop, wasn't it? Lazy journalism. But Jose, shock horror, disagrees. Let's go over to a little video of him.
I told to my players, Matic, Herrera and Pogba, they cannot improve a lot from what they did in the first half. They had confidence to play, to move the ball, to give passes line. I was asking more from especially my central defenders to play with the ball, because in the first half they were really a little shaky with the ball in their feet, you know, sloppy passes, bad mistakes. I need more from my wingers. I wanted them to come inside and to give more solutions to our midfield players. I was not asking for Paul to improve, because I was already happy with what he was doing in the first half, but 2 fantastic goals. And I'm really pleased for him.
And he definitely got more from his wingers, didn't he? In particular, Alexis Sanchez. Definitely Alexis' best performance in a Manchester United shirt thus far. Hopefully that form continues. He stepped up with 2 assists, didn't he? That's the first time he's done that in a game since December 2014. That's nearly 4 years. What on earth was he doing at Arsenal? But I suppose he was just kind of scoring goals.
Playing as a
anyway.
striker.
Yeah, in his 82 minutes on the field, though, he had 40 touches. He created 3 chances, completed 3 take-ons, won 2 fouls, and made 3 tackles and interceptions. So an all-round performance from the Chilean. United, I thought, were really efficient. I think they had 80% shot accuracy. I think they converted with 60% of their shots. So some would say it's unsustainable, but on the day, it didn't matter, did it? Because they were flying into the back of the net. I think we took 5 shots, 4 of them came on target. That's impressive, given that Romelu Lukaku didn't really have his best day at the office.
I don't think you had a shot for the first 40.
No, we literally, we didn't. There was a stat where it came up 7 shots to 0, which I don't even think any of us were shocked by, were we? But the result does mean that Jose Mourinho, no manager has ever done the double over Jose Mourinho in the Premier League, which is actually a remarkable record, isn't it, given the fact that he's faced the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson in there, and now Pep Guardiola's all-conquering Manchester City. It's also, though, the first time that Pep has thrown away a 2-goal lead since December 2013. Can you tell us who that was against, though? Let us know in the comments below if you can. But for now, we're going to go to live on the streets of London, asking the people about Paul Pogba's future, because there's still question marks, isn't there?
Go on the left star.
Hi guys, we're back in the streets of rainy London to find out what the public think of Paul Pogba. Should he stay at Manchester United or should he go?
It might be at United, but personally don't rate him. I think it'd be good for him if they got rid of him. A lot of money for not really much, really, so I don't think it'll last long for him at Man U, really, but are they going to get their money back? Probably not.
If he wants to win stuff, he should go to City.
I think at the moment he should stay at United. He seems to be their star man, him alongside Alexis Sanchez, so I think he should stay at United at the moment.
What do you think of Paul Pogba?
Absolutely with United. I think he's still got a lot of potential. They've paid a lot of money for him and he's got to come through.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
It just doesn't work hard enough for me.
Do you think that's a problem with Mourinho as his coach?
Yeah, he was more of an attacking player in Juventus, but when he come here, he seems to be more defensive. So personally, that's what I think.
So would you have him at Liverpool?
No.
I think Mourinho's tactics have been a bit too defensive at times.
Yeah.
Maybe if he changes it around. I mean, we've seen the quality team that he can put together against Liverpool, against Manchester City.
Yeah.
We need more consistency in that lineup.
But you think Pogba should be in that lineup?
Absolutely.
Well, Mourinho's a weird manager because he likes to cultivate this kind of siege mentality. Everyone hates us and what have you. So he's done it before, Mourinho, with other players where they haven't really performed as well as they should do under his managership. So Mourinho can have an odd effect on some players, and obviously the chemistry between those two isn't right. Maybe it's better to just cut your losses and move on.
It's still down to himself as well as Mourinho, maybe not playing him in the correct positions.
I think it's tough when you spend £100 million on a player not to start them. It makes you think about the judgment of the people who bought him in the first place.
Do you think he should be staying at United and kind of fight his way back into Mourinho's side?
I think he proved that at the weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Our first winner comes from @ChristianSeals on Twitter. Thank you very much for getting this in, mate. He's gone for Bayern Munich because they've pulled another Bavarian madness.
Yes, they won their 6th consecutive Bundesliga title. Boring hell. But anyway, on the day they beat Augsburg 4-1, didn't they? They actually came from behind because Nicolas Sula scored an own goal. He's been brilliant this season, but Tolisso, James Rodriguez, Robben and Wagner dragged them back into the game as their 28th German championship. They're 19 championships ahead of second best Nuremberg. Deary me, the top of the honours list in Germany is getting tense, isn't it? Despite the rocky start, they actually went into cruise control, 70% possession, 12 shots. They actually had 7 on target. Augsburg only mustered a paltry 1. The star men though, Bernat on the left wing, 95% pass accuracy, 4 dribbles, 2 tackles, and of course an assist. And Arjen Robben on the other side scored his 95th Bundesliga goal. He averages a league goal every other game. He had 3 shots, 2 on target, 6 dribbles, which was the most on the pitch. This was very, very easy for Bayern Munich in the end, but one hell of a season, I suppose, because didn't have the best start under Carlo.
He's 33 and he's completing 6 dribbles per game.
Insane.
What an athlete. But yes, like you said, the turnaround after their poor start to the season was impressive, but Jupp Heynckes has probably, alarmingly, just delivered what Bayern Munich fans have come to expect. So when he took over from Carlo Ancelotti, they were 5 points behind Dortmund, who'd had an incredible start to the season. Subsequently, they've won 28 out of 31 games to win the title with 5 games to go.
Wow.
It's the 72-year-old's 4th spell at the helm as Bayern manager. He hadn't worked since 2013 when he won the treble, but he's now won his 4th title with the club 29 years after the first. Obviously, his career's taken him to Real Madrid. He won the Champions League there and other clubs. Forgot them. Anyway, could they be on for another treble? They've got the match against Sevilla coming up, which they won pretty comfortably 2-1 away from home. The German Cup semi-final as well against Leverkusen on the 17th of April. So everything's looking rosy for the wily old fox that is Jupp Heynckes so far. And he's a stand-up guy to boot. He said this title is also for him, referencing Ancelotti. He's a fantastic coach. I think Ancelotti probably would have won the title anyway, had it not been for the players actually complaining about his methods more than his results.
Yeah,
I don't think his training was in line with the standards that Bayern Munich players had come to expect. Almost obsessive, aren't they? A weird quirk about Bayern, they've not clinched the title at home since 2000, and they've never done it at the Allianz since they moved there in 2005. So a timely homecoming for the Bayern Munich faithful, and they are bloody good fans. We went there to watch a game where they thrashed Leverkusen, and the ultras were pretty impressive, weren't they, with all the tifos and the whatnot and the snozzages and the cheap beer.
Yeah,
well done,
proper rain in that
Germany.
day as well, wasn't it?
Was tempestuous. And the most worrying thing is this isn't a vintage season by Bayern Munich standards. They lost 3 games, poor really, isn't it?
I mean, that's
terrible.
A disgrace, if you 3 losses.
They've only lost more on 1 occasion in the last 5 years.
Wow.
I think Celtic have dominated the SPFL quite to the same standard.
Hyper competitive in Germany.
Conceded 21 league goals this season. The most in the last 5 years was 24, so they're still on to surpass that as well. But you know, easily good enough form for a league title, isn't it? Who will stop them next season? Will it be Schalke?
No.
Will it be Wolfsburg?
No. There'll be no one.
God.
Our next suggestion was sent in by Aritra Samantra, and they said Chelsea hamster.
Oh, they got moist. Yeah, they drew 1-1 with West Ham, meaning they are winless in consecutive home London derbies. In fact, haven't they won 3 times in the Premier League since the turn of the year,
They have.
Joseph?
Absolutely.
What an absolutely disgusting state of affairs. Couldn't have happened to a nicer club. Having been just 5 points behind Spurs before their match last weekend, they now trail the Lily Whites by 10 points.
It's done. That top 4's finished.
I have down on my script they now face the prospect of finishing outside the top 4 for a second time in 3 seasons. Actually, I don't think Arsenal were too far behind them in 6th at the moment, so I'd worry more about securing that Europa League spot in 5th. They actually finished 10th the last time they were protecting a league title as well, so it seems to be that sort of second season syndrome.
It's an improvement, isn't it?
That he sort of declared he wouldn't have. Kind of maybe should have said that, tempting fate. But for West Ham, a vital point. Well done. David Moyes probably deserves a bit of luck, having been an absolute house manager for the last 4 seasons. They're now 6 points above the relegation zone with 6 games remaining, which looks like good enough form given the sort of tumultuous time some of those teams are having down there to stay up. They remain unbeaten against the Blues as well, having lost just twice to them since March 2015. That's because the Hammer's faithful, isn't it? What else happened?
Well, it was actually a second good result on the bounce for David Moyes, wasn't it? He beat Southampton, which was a really key result in the relegation dogfight, and now a key result against Chelsea as well. But let's face it, Chelsea should have won this game. 60% possession. They actually had 23 shots. And they only scored 1 goal. They had 6 on target as well. At the other end, though, it was Marko Arnautovic yet again that was dragging West Ham through. I put my hands up, fully admit, got this one wrong. I battered that signing at the start of the season, and he's actually done okay.
We battered all of West Ham signings, and
It's
3
true.
out of the 4 were poor. I actually saw that in his first 7 games in the Slaven Village, 0 goals scored. The subsequent 18 games under David Moyes, 9 goals, 4 assists.
It's really impressive from Marco. On the day as well, he had 4 shots, 4 dribbles, 4 tackles and interceptions, and he obviously got the assist for Hernandez. Hernandez loves playing against Chelsea. He's got 9 in 14 against the Blues. Also, big shout out to Joe Hart, another player we battered at the start of the season, rightly so, because he's been utterly dreadful. But in this game, he was crucial, made 5 saves, including 1, which was absolutely brilliant.
We don't want him to be
William.
poor.
We don't want him to be poor,
decent.
but he has been utterly tragic. Anyway, the Hammers, they host Stoke next Monday. That is a massive relegation game. If they beat Stoke, I think they're definitely going to stay up, and it might send the Potters down. But do you guys at home think West Ham will stay up under Moyes? I think it's looking increasingly likely. Let us know by voting in the poll. If Adam Templeman adds one today, it'll be the first in about 6 weeks, Adam. Up there right now.
Next winner. It's Bambi on ice. It's Danny Welbeck, and this comes from @George Wright.
Yeah, just about sneaking in there, Danny Welbeck, because he did score a brace, he got an assist, and he pulled Arsenal back from the brink.
Go on, Danny.
Against a terrible, possibly the worst I can remember in recent years, Southampton side. But in the process, ended a 16-game drought, so congratulations. 2 goals in 17 games for the striker.
I like it.
I'm sure he'll be on the plane to Russia in the summer somehow.
Clinical for England.
Absolutely clinical. Having said that, Arsenal have won 6 games in a row in all competitions. That's the first time they've done that since May 2017. Tyler Peake as well on Twitter also suggested that Xhaka should be going into the winners section. George Wright kind of agreed behind the camera. He said whenever he has short sleeves, he plays well. Bit extreme for me, because this Southampton side are an utter joke, and yet somehow they nearly turned Arsenal over at home, didn't they? Danny Welbeck should have had a hat-trick as well. If he wasn't such a donkey, he would have. George Wright also wanted me to say shout out and maybe hammer Jack Wilshere, because he got Stevens sent off, didn't he? And then El Neni ended up getting sent off, and quite frankly, Wilshere's an absolute shit-house. He's had more yellow cards this season than he has scored goals in his Premier League career. So just put a bit of negativity on the Gunners. But Danny Welbeck, 2 goals and an assist.
Yeah, fair play. And Arsenal, like I said, could potentially, if said form continues at both clubs, climb above Chelsea.
Climb into 5th.
What has happened, Conte? What has happened? The loss also means that Southampton stay in the relegation zone, and it just shows you that in the Premier League, you are literally one bad managerial decision from consigning your club to relegation.
For Puel, baby.
Letting Puel go, hiring Pellegrino. I was calling Pellegrini.
Yeah.
I forgot which one it is. Not the most inspiring, but not the most, not uneducated. But Mark Hughes to keep you up.
Marky. Sparky Barky.
Yep,
Keep me up, baby.
all of the above. He could potentially take 2 clubs down this season. Oh, but yes, Southampton actually put on quite a good show. 35% possession, admittedly, but they had 15 shots, registering 8 on target.
8!
Which means that Cech had a pretty good day at the office, and he's much maligned by the
And
Arsenal
an
fans,
exclusive
isn't he?
stat here.
8.
That 8 shots on target is actually more than Southampton have had combined for the entire season, because they've actually only scored 4 goals, haven't they? It's not a real stat, but it may as well be, because they're useless.
Well, someone who hasn't scored a lot of goals, but likes scoring against Arsenal, sort of made the most of a terrible Mustafi sort of piece of defending at the near post, didn't he? Shane Long scored his first goal since 2010. Again, not true, but it could be. He's now got 4 goals against Arsenal in the Premier League. Only Wayne Rooney and RVP have scored more times against Petr Cech, who obviously has the record amount of shutouts, doesn't he?
It was nice to see Petr Cech.
Has he got his 200th clean sheet yet, George?
Yeah, he has. He has.
Oh, it just about happened. But Charlie Austin as well, he loves scoring against the Gunners too. They just can't handle, I don't know,
The dream team.
that calibre of striker.
People have been saying recently Charlie Austin and Shane Long are the new Solskjaer and Sheringham, or
Yeah.
York and Cole.
But
Combinations.
That's 4 in 4 now for Charlie Austin. Oh God, that's just taken the sting out of my my section. But yeah, the Saints have now lost 3 successive away league matches and conceded at least 3 goals in each for the first time since September 2013, which is when they first came up under Nigel Adkins, I believe. In fact, they haven't won a Premier League game in 6 matches now. That's 4 losses and 2 draws. I'm not even sure if they still have that game in advance down there, game in hand.
Yeah, they do.
They do. Have to win that.
Absolutely.
I don't, you know what? See you later, Southampton.
Oh! Our final loser of the day was suggested by Chuji1317 on Twitter, Leicester City.
Yeah, my hometown club succumbed 2-1 to Newcastle at home. What a win for Rafa Benitez's men. Very timely as well, with goals from Shelby, Perez, and an 83rd minute consolation from Devo, aka Jamie Vardy. Really damaging defeat for Leicester, actually, in terms of their aspirations for European football, because coupled with Burnley's win away at Watford, the Clarets are now 6 points ahead of the Foxes in 7th place. So unless Southampton win the FA Cup,
which they won't,
7th actually qualifies for the Europa League. And imagine Leicester being in Europe 2 seasons out of 3.
Ooh!
Is it? Potentially, yes. Leicester dominated, but were uncharacteristically poor. Actually had 66% possession. That average has been climbing up under Puel. Both teams had 8 shots, but Leicester only registered 1 on target versus the Magpies 4. I think the Foxes will feel like they could have had a penalty in this game when Dummett absolutely collided with Mahrez, but they'll probably lucky Maguire didn't get sent off for his little touch on Gale's face.
Yeah, look, Gale was like,
but Gale isn't like
nipple
height for him. It's the first home defeat in 7 games for Leicester since their 3-0 defeat by Palace in December, which was an absolute shower of winning 2 and drawing 4, so not great despite the numbers. Good news though, Jamie Vardy has now scored 7 in his last 9 Premier League appearances. Only Aguero, Kane and Salah have more. Get Devo on the plane. Yeah. This is a Devo wrap.
But let's talk a little bit about Newcastle, because Rafa Benitez is working some miracles there, isn't he? It's actually their first victory at the King Power in all competitions. They've got a really bad record there. They previously lost 3 and drawn 2. Actually in 2018, they've been really good. They've actually turned it around a little bit. 3 victories and 2 clean sheets in their last 3 games as well. They're up to 10th. They're just 3 points beyond Everton, who obviously spent multi-millions of pounds. Rafa Benitez not getting a great deal of investment in the summer either, so hopefully he'll be hoping for more backing in the summer. Jose Perez, he's struggled at times this season. He's struggled throughout his Newcastle career, actually, but recently turned it up a little bit, and in this game was very good. 3 shots, 2 on target, 1 tackle, 1 assist, and a goal, of course. It's actually just the 3rd time his entire career he scored and assisted in a single match, which isn't a great stat, because I remember when he first arrived, he was kind of getting bigged up. John Joe Shelby, though, he did step up on the day, didn't he? He scored, get him on the plane. No, don't get John Joe Shelby anywhere near a plane to Russia, for goodness sake. He'll be in fights with the hooligans in just minutes, won't he? Him, Harry Potter, and all the other Voldemort. What am I saying here? I've gone right off the tangent. Should we go back to the football? Anyway, next up, Newcastle host Arsenal. So that could be a fun game, because Arsenal aren't great and Newcastle are all right. I mean, does anybody care anymore? Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
So that's the end of winners and losers. Kind of tailed off a little bit, I'll be completely honest. But what should the people do next?
Right. We've been saying this for weeks, but the Go vlog is officially out tomorrow. However, you can't do that now, can you? You can't watch it tomorrow. So go and watch Euro Roundup. Go and watch Stat Wars the Champions from the weekend. Adam McCullough is back on it. I think he got through 2 rounds last year before I ended him.
How far is he getting it this time? And also go and check out Sunday Vibes. We had a few technical difficulties yesterday, but Hamill finally got it uploaded after 6 hours of his Sunday. So well done, Chris Hamill. But, please go and check that out. It hasn't got as many views as we would like. Truth be told, we need the money.
See ya.
Bye.